You're listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips, where we present audiobook quality readings of the classics for your enjoyment. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, just because you're a bumpkin doesn't mean you can't be cultured. Hello and welcome to The Cultured Bumpkin. I'm Jake. Thank you very much for joining me. Today we're going to read a little Emily Dickinson. This one is called Because I Could Not Stop for Death. And it goes like this. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had to put away my labor and my leisure too, for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun, or rather he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only gossamer, my gown, my tippet, only tulle. Quick aside. That sounds strange if you don't know what that means. Usually, she's talking about her scarf. Usually it's wool or, fur, something like that. Tulle is like a silk. It's thin. She wasn't warm enough in what she was dressed in, basically. She needed warmer clothes. Her clothing was of thin material. That's what that's kind of saying. If you were like, what the world just happened? That's what she was saying. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Since then, 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity. Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. If you enjoyed that, I hope that you'll subscribe if you haven't yet, leave a review, and tell a friend. I would appreciate that. And thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time. You've been listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, would you mind going and subscribing and leaving a nice review on whatever podcast platform you heard this on? I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.